We're expecting a major update from the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Authority, or HISA, in regards to Churchill Downs.
Yeah, so that agency launched an investigation following 12 horse deaths at the track earlier this year. We want to get straight to Jim Stratman, who's live at Churchill Downs, with what we should know before these findings are released. Jim, good morning.
Well, good morning, Grace and Eric. The report is expected to be released around 10 o'clock this morning, and we are hopeful that in it there will be some answers to the mystery surrounding all those horse deaths that we saw during the spring meet out here at Churchill Downs. At the time, it was something that baffled Churchill Downs officials, and 12 horses died in the span of just 1 month during this past spring meet. That happened between April 26th and April 27th and May 27th. The last horses to die died on May 26th and 27th. That was Kimberly Dream and Lost in Limbo. Now, in other cases that we've seen like this, the most notable being the tragic season out at Santa Anita Racecourse, where more than 40 horses died, there was a common thread. Experts out at Santa Anita at the time said that there was a clear thread with a bone breaking in horse after horse. But in this case, Churchill officials say that there isn't that link between these deaths. The track surface was tested last year before the ultimate decision was made to move the spring meet, the remainder of the spring meet, out of Churchill Downs, suspend racing at the track, and move it to Ellis Park out in Henderson, Kentucky. Now again, that report is expected to be released at 10 a.m. this morning. There will be a news conference to follow at 12 o'clock this afternoon. We expect to carry that on our website, WHAS11.com, our app, our YouTube page, so there are plenty of opportunities for you to check out what is in that report. And of course, we will continue to cover this as we learn more. Eric, Grace.
Jim, thank you so much. Racing returns to Churchill this Thursday for the September meet. In response to the horse deaths, Churchill says it's purchased new maintenance equipment to test the track surface more frequently. It's also adding resources to the veterinary team and establishing a new safety committee to address concerns and ways to improve. For more on that 2-week spring meet back earlier this year and the details of HISA's report, as soon as it is released, download the WHAS 11 News app or head over to our website.
All right, more local news for you now. A handful of Kentucky lawmakers want the state's auditor to look into JCPS. Kentucky Representative Jason Nemes of Middletown is one of 12 Republicans requesting that audit. He cited ongoing issues with the district like violence and students struggling to read at grade level. Nemes also said recent transportation issues added to the urgency of the request, but they've been planning to ask for one for a while. A spokesperson for Auditor Mike Harmon's office said their team is reviewing the request, but there's no timeline on a decision. Nemes believes an inspection will happen sooner rather than later.
We'll be meeting with them in the next couple of weeks to start the process of planning and what it looks like and what questions they'll go into. But it's a full financial and management audit that we're requesting to be done.
Now, JCPS is pushing back here. The district told us, quote, "We cannot ignore the concerns that this audit may be politically motivated rather than an impartial review of our operations. Instead of forcing JCPS to spend money on this audit, the legislature should prioritize investing in our schools directly to ensure quality education for all students."
In the last 2 weeks, there have been at least 5 hit and runs reported in Jefferson County, 2 of them on busy Dixie Highway. WHAS 11's Ian Hardwitt sat down with a city transportation leader who's made stopping these preventable tragedies her top focus.
We do see really regular fatal and serious injury crashes along Dixie Highway. We're going to continue to see those until we address roadway geometry.
Tragically, Louisville saw 2 of those deadly crashes over the weekend. A man in his early 20s died at the intersection of Dixie Highway and Crumbs Lane. So far, Shively police have received conflicting reports about what type of car was involved. But Claire Yates, project manager for Vision Zero Louisville, says the timing is common.
Most pedestrian fatalities occur in non-daylight hours, and so investing in adequate street lighting along a dangerous roadway has been proven to reduce fatal and serious injury pedestrian crashes.
Reducing those deaths to zero is her primary mission. It's a distant goal set for 2050 and part of the Vision Zero initiative. Yates says a culture shift is required in addition to more infrastructure and post-crash care.
I think there is quite a bit that motorists and roadway owners can do to improve safety for that pedestrian.
Earlier at the Dixie and Crumbs intersection, these pedestrians waited as cars drove through their right-of-way. The area lacks sidewalks, something Megan Yates suggests will improve pedestrian safety there if installed. She says federal grant money could fund that infrastructure nearby at Dixie Highway and Bernheim Lane.
That might include adding a turning lane. That might also include building new sidewalks or adding curbing as well.
In Shively, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Shively police are working to identify the vehicle involved in Sunday night's crash. If you know anything, you are urged to call the Shively Police Anonymous Tip Line. That number is 502-9302-SPD.
7 minutes after the hour now, Bullitt County is remembering a school bus driver who died in a crash on his way to work last week. Here you can see the tribute to Jason Benningfield. The front hood of a school bus has been draped with a black ribbon, and "Rest in peace, Mr. Jason" is written on the windshield. Benningfield was 48 years old and died while driving his personal car last Friday. He'd been with Bullitt County Public Schools for about 5 years.
Mr. Jason was a very popular driver with his parents, his students, and his co-workers. He stood out here in the office. He just recently became a driver trainer himself. He was so proud of that, and we were proud of him.
A GoFundMe has raised nearly $2,000 to help Benningfield's family with expenses. If you'd like to help, there is a link in this story at WHAS11.com.
And this morning, an LMPD officer shot in the line of duty last week remains in critical condition at U of L Hospital. That was the update from the department on Monday about Officer Brandon Haley. An LMPD spokesperson said, quote, "We are cautiously optimistic, and LMPD continues to ask for the community's prayers and support for Officer Haley and his family." Someone shot Officer Haley while he was conducting a traffic stop last Thursday in the Chickasaw neighborhood. As of this morning, no one has been directly charged with the shooting. The Metro Police Foundation says Officer Haley is married with young children. You can find a link to the fund set up to help in his recovery in this story on our website.